could tell when you walked into the room and sat right down with an ice cold heart. Pushed back hair and smile broke the temperature, heating things up right from the start. What kind of man are you, breaking promises? What kind of man would do what you do? Look out for Mr. Charming, that's what Mama said. My kind of man don't look like you. There's an Elvis movie on a marquee sign. We've all seen at least 3 times. Everybody's broke, but Bobby's got a buck to put $1 worth of gas in his pickup truck. We're going 90 miles an hour down a dead-end road. What's the hurry, son? Where you gonna go? We're gonna howl at the moon, shoot out the lights. It's a small town Saturday. I could hitch a ride in a boxcar over the mountain to my dream. Steam, don't run frozen, takes a fire to be free. Steam, don't run frozen, I feel the burning in me.
Awesome. Claudia Hoyser, there you are.
Yes.
Look at you.
Hello.
You know, we were talking off camera. I feel like that stage, that set that you're in right now, it's like iconic at this point. It's,
Oh my gosh, thank you.
It is. It's significant.
We worked really hard on this. You know, when we started doing the Hoyser Country Monday videos, we were just in the studio setting. And then after a while, well, actually they started outside and then it started to get cold. So we had to come into the studio and we just needed to deck it out a little bit and make it a little bit more me. And we created kind of a scene here where if we turn the camera a little bit this way, it looks like something else, and a little bit this way looks like something different. So that we can do a bunch of different videos in this one place.
It's so special, Claudia. So, you know, just to quickly introduce you, you're an American country music artist, a star, social media influencer. You know, you're unlike anyone I think we've ever had on the show, or really in my time in media in 15 years. You're just so unique, Claudia. Obviously, you have the talent and all that stuff, but you've carved such a unique path that I don't think it's ever been done before, because it's, you know, it's using all the tools of today, and it's a really unique and remarkable thing what you're doing, Claudia. And your first full-length album, I should mention, Red Lights Turning Green, is coming out later this year, right?
It is, and I'm so excited for that. And just touching back on, you know, carving my own path, I'm sure there's been so many ways people have tried this, you know, tried and true and tried and failed. And that's part of our everyday thing, but we're just kind of doing whatever feels right. I work with an amazing manager and co-writer who's been in the business for a long time. And, you know, he did it a different way a little while ago. And now we've got this new technology and all these new things and new ways to go about things. And so we just kind of blend our two minds together. And I think it does create a very unique path that has been working out for us. So we've been very lucky.
Exactly. So before the pandemic, you were doing like some of the traditional stuff, like you opened for one of the friends of our show, Cassidy Pope. She's been here a few times. So,
nice.
So you've played with her and all that stuff. But now, you know, with the online, the way things shifted online, you just absolutely are killing it, Claudia. Do you sometimes wake up like, and do you think to yourself like, wow, what an interesting turn of events, how this happened? I have a million legion of fans, you know, weekly. Like, how did this happen?
All the time. I think that thought actually crosses my mind daily. It's still, I don't know that this will ever feel completely normal, but it is funny when you get going and you start just doing the motions. You know, I go to the studio and I get to work on my record. And then I, on Mondays, sit down and have Hoyser Country Monday. And we've got, you know, I can't even explain, around well, we've had 111 million views on these Hoyser Country Monday videos, but I'll sit down at any one point, there's 3,000 people tuning in at that 1 minute, and I can see the little number on there. And
Yeah.
it's funny that while it's happening, it feels normal. And then I have that moment like, oh my God, did I just wake up, make music, talk to everybody in Norway,
Exactly.
talk to a radio station, share my videos out there? It really is crazy. And I'm very thankful for every opportunity I've had so far, especially like shows with Cassidy Pope. I mean, I really look up to her, and we went down to Myrtle Beach for that one. And actually, funny story behind the scenes here, her sound went out during the show. And I'm like, okay, this is something that would happen to me. And I was so glad to be there to watch, what she did in that situation. And she just handled it like such a pro. She was like, well, sound's not working. She grabs an acoustic guitar, sits down on the front of the stage, and just has everybody sing along with her. And it's moments like that. I'm constantly learning, but now I feel like I could handle situations like that. And it's just been an evolving journey for sure.
Amazing, amazing, Claudia. And yeah, I think that we're gonna look back on 2020 for you specifically, and it's gonna be like, oh my God, Claudia Hoyser, look what she's now. Where did she come from? What was it? Was a turning point? The way that she like handled that challenge of 2020. That's, I think we're gonna look at it specially for you for sure.
Thank you.
Of course, Claudia. So let me ask you a little bit about your upbringing, because that's where it all starts, right? You grew up, you were born in Rochester, right?
Yes, in Fairport, New York.
In Fairport, New York. So your mom was a teacher, if I'm not wrong, and your dad was a business guy. You have one sister. So
That's true.
how did music kind of like come into your DNA here?
Oh my gosh. I think it really is in my blood. My dad, if he could be in a rock band, he would. My uncle has been in music his whole life, and is an incredible musician himself. And for me, I got that karaoke machine when I was a little kid, and I never turned that thing off. Shania Twain CDs were constantly on repeat. My grandparents had me listening to country music. And of course, back then I would make fun of it and tell them to turn off the twangy banjo music. And now here we are. Our biggest video has been my version of Fishing in the Dark, which my grandpa kept pushing the nitty gritty dirt band on me, my poppy, my whole life. And obviously something just stuck. And I would skip sleepovers to make YouTube videos in my basement, just making up songs. And it was something that always found a way back into my life. And
Yeah.
I'm so happy to have been able to turn it into a career, because it's really not something that I saw coming. I went to
Absolutely.
school. I was ready to get a big girl job. And
Yeah, you were into fashion,
well, actually, communications. So this
communications.
kind of worked out, because I can't believe how much I'm really using from all that too, with the online social media, and the branding and all that. So
Right.
it did come in handy in many ways. I'm able to use, what I thought I was going to do, but um,
You've made
I
it your
just,
own.
I've, been able to make this my
Listen,
my career here, and it's
you
been
you ha- you're
amazing.
what you are creating here, and I tell you, there's no pattern here. I'm sure Tony would agree. You see patterns all the time, with things. There's no pattern with Claudia Hoyser. The only thing is that, like, with your work ethic, with your talent, and with your the way you're like maximizing, the technologies, you're going far. But the pattern is not there. It's great.
Thank you. We try to keep it fresh, I really appreciate that. That's high praise. We try to keep it fresh. There's always a little something different coming down the pike, and I like to just throw things out there when they're there. We
Yeah.
don't always say, here's what's coming in the next 5 months, because at this point, everyone's putting out so much content all the time. I just like to keep it fresh and surprise everybody. And we've got our coffee out now and some other things
Yeah, I want
coming.
to talk about that too. That's great. Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
we'll get there in a second, but look, there's a lot to unwrap. And by the way, the nitty gritty cover you mentioned has like 1 million views, but I digress. Maybe even more.
16 million,
16 million,
actually.
16 million views.
Can't
Apologies.
believe it. People
16
keep
million.
tuning in for that one every day. It just
Unreal.
keeps climbing.
Unreal. Unreal. So, okay, so you're playing Shania Twain. So what are some of your first memories of, like, performing for your what are some of your first memories of, like, you getting that warmth inside of giving joy to people through your performance, through your talent?
Oh my gosh, that's a great question. There's so many. let me think about this for a second. So I think actually one of the hardest things to do was to sit down in front of my family and sing a song. It was actually easier to play or sing in front of more people because I don't know, something about that really quiet, intimate thing was just that little awkward barrier. But as a kid, you don't have those nerves as much. And so it started out slow, coffee shops, little restaurant gigs. And I just remember kind of that turning point of noticing when you could get somebody to look up from their coffee cup or turn around in their chair when they were eating dinner. And it was kind of like figuring out those things that would make an audience who was there for some other reason connect with you.
Yeah.
And what kind of story, what kind of tone, and the coolest thing about it was when I really figured out that it was just when I was myself. If I messed up a word and I totally admitted it, or I shared maybe a new song that was a little vulnerable that I was a little nervous about and hadn't totally locked in yet, but I did it anyway. That was when people turned around, started paying attention, and started following. So I'm just myself as much as I can be. And I hope that people enjoy it and take away a good thing from it.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, it's true. Vulnerability. You make people feel. I think that's the pattern. You make people feel something, and I think you see it in that in the song that you made for because you're an actress as well, and you made a song for Wildflowers. You play Hannah. By the way, if people want to check
You
you
did
out.
all your research. You are so good.
No, but you have that song. What's that song?
Pieces
I
of
won't
my
forget.
scars.
I won't
I
forget.
won't forget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that all my life? Whatever. You sing it.
Yep. Yeah.
But is that like autobiographical? Because like it's
It
so to the
is.
core. It's so real.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Oh, you're so sweet. So I wrote that song when I was getting ready to graduate high school. And I had an awesome group of friends, very core group, and we're still best friends to this day. And a lot of people go through school and they have really hard times. And of course I did too. Everybody does. But looking back on it, I had an amazing community, amazing family, friends. And I was just so lucky, and getting ready to leave all of that and go off to school and not know if those relationships were going to stay, who was really going to be there in the end. Just thinking about all those things and the fact that I would never forget those memories. And I put that into a
A
song
song.
and I brought it to the studio here, and a movie director got wind of it, and he wanted to use it in his film Wildflower that ended up on Netflix. So I got to play a small role in the movie after a little tiny impromptu interview, and it just one thing led to the next, and that really started the ball rolling for all of this.
Yeah. Amazing. Amazing, Hannah. Okay, so we're going in ping ponging here a little bit, but it is.
I know
it is.
there's so much to talk about.
There's so much to talk about, but okay, so you get the juice of performing, you go to school, you kind of have like a regular life with your talent inside of you, and then okay, your junior year of college, you have to decide, whether you go into broadcast journalism or whether you kind of go into music, right?
Right.
Tell us a little bit about how you fell into the Flag Girls, into this little episode of your life, and what you learned from it that you still carry today.
You are so impressive. Oh my
Please.
goodness. Going back to the Flag Girls. Okay, well, let me rewind and do this kind of short and sweet. So I was in college. A friend from high school reached out. Did I just cut out a little bit?
No, you're good.
There we go. I was in college. A friend from high school reached out. He was a little older than me. We weren't very close friends or anything, but he said, "Hey, Claudia, don't even know if you remember me, but I am moving to LA to become a videographer. And I know you sing. I want to put together a little music video. Would you want to make one?" And I'm like, sure. I mean, this is the kind of thing that I'm waiting for to happen. So of course, let's make a music video. So we get together over a summer break or something like that. And he asked me if I had anything professionally recorded. And I'm like, if you mean garage band in my actual parents' garage, that's about as professional as it gets right now. And he said, all right, well, I heard about this one studio out in Rochester. Let's check it out. And maybe he'll cut us a deal or something. Then he calls me back. I talked to the guy. He's awesome. We get to go record there next week. Get ready. Have your guitar player ready. Whatever you want to do. We're going. I'm like, this is it. We're going to a music studio. The first one I've ever been in. I can't wait. I get my uncle to take the day off from work to play guitar for me. And we come out to the studio. I walk in so excited. I'm taking all the selfies in the world. Like, this is my first, time recording in the studio. And the studio owner kind of looks at us like, whoa, I really just thought this was a little meet and greet. I just wanted to see, what you guys are.
I lost you there for a second.
Still there?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, sorry, I'll back it up. We got a phone call. So, whoa, I can't just turn on the microphones right now. I don't even know what you guys want to do, what kind of instruments you have.
You guys were ready.
We were ready. I was pretty ready. And then, I was like, well, I brought my guitar player with me, is my uncle, and they actually knew each other from way back. My uncle was in one of the first bands that ever recorded here at GFI Studios with my manager now, Tony Gross. So they kind of reconnected. And I think, thank God I brought him, because Tony ended up saying, all right, well, let's just do it really quick. It's a short song. We'll just knock it out. So he set up the microphones. We recorded the song, and he noticed something in my voice, which was the best thing to happen yet. He said that I had a fingerprint sound and asked if I'd ever want to come back and try writing sometime. And so, of course, I was over the moon, came right back. I can't even remember how many days later, and we sat down and wrote about 2 or 3 songs. And something was just really special about that, because I didn't know that was not normal, because I had never been in a co-writing situation in a studio before. And he was like, this is very unique. We don't typically sit down and just knock out 3 songs in a couple hours. So I ended up coming back, doing my internship here at the studio. Pieces of My Scars happened with the movie. We started writing for some film and TV a little bit. And then the Flag Girls came into play. And this actually was part of my internship for school. I kind of flipped it so I could use it for both things. And the Flag Girls was a girl country group. And it was an idea that my manager and co-writer had for a bunch of years, but had never pulled off. He actually wanted to start it with a pop group before. And when he heard our sound, he's like, this could really work as a country group. So we started getting together, practicing with the other girls. And one of the girls from the Flag Girls is still my backup singer. You might have seen her in some of my videos, Lisi Mamano. So that's something amazing that we took away from the Flag Girls. And we learned a lot, and then just kind of spun out and started doing solo stuff. Even though I think we would have done that anyway all throughout, because it's just how it keeps rolling on.
Claudia, I tell you, that story, it just gives me the goosebumps in so many ways. Like, like there is something like otherworldly with Claudia Hoyser, for sure. I mean, I'm sure Tony was probably like, what is this girl? Let's just give her a song, get her out of the way. I want to get my cappuccino. Like, let's go. Right.
Exactly. He's bringing out the espresso. At that point, I didn't even
totally.
drink espresso yet. And he's like, okay, we're going to have espresso. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to drink tons of espresso.
Like he'll never admit it, but he was probably just like, a pity thing. Like, okay, like they're here. The uncle
like,
took the day off.
Let's
just do it.
Yeah. And since I've been at the studio so long, I see these types of things happen all the time. An intern will pop up to the studio, and I'm in the seat where I can look at Tony, and we're both like, oh gosh, here we go. Here they come. But yeah, the espresso pot was a huge deal, because Tony was huge into the espresso, and it became our thing. Never starting a day without a pot of coffee. And so we put a vintage espresso pot in all of the Hoyser Country Monday videos for people to find, like a little Where's Waldo.
Yeah.
And
so fun.
So kept the coffee link going the whole time, if you didn't even know it.
Yeah, let's segue into the coffee in just a second. But isn't it amazing, Claudia, how when it relates to your life's purpose, the universe conspires and like works in things that you don't even know are happening just for you, like for your purpose and for your goal in life.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that it works in very mysterious ways. Yeah. And looking back on it, I can't believe how many like chain of events actually happened to get me to where I am today. I mean, I wanted to go away to school, move somewhere warm in the South. And I don't know, I had all these ideas about what my life was going to look like.
Yeah.
And no matter what, I knew I would be playing music, but I never thought I'd be doing it in this way. And I'm so glad that everything kept me where I was, made me realize that, you know, sometimes home is where the heart is, and
Right.
you can do anything from anywhere. That's one thing that Tony's really taught me, is as long as you are doing what you love and you're doing it well, you can be anywhere.
True.
And thank God for social media, because that really is the case, because I can
Totally.
share it with everybody in the world.
Totally. I mean, you're giving love and joy and so much happiness to people all around the world. That's what a gift.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you. My
that's true.
gosh.
It's true.
I really appreciate all the kind words. It's
No,
really
it's true.
been amazing to be able to follow this path, and then to see people reacting in the way that they have, and just really jumping on board Team Hoyser Country and coming up with fun nicknames for me and rooting me on the whole time. It's, of course, there's the haters too. There's the occasional hater, but
It's
they
okay.
just feel
That's part of
my
it.
fire a little bit more. So
Exactly. Exactly. Keep them coming.
they help me write more songs.
Exactly. That means you're going in the right direction. And so, Claudia, in addition to, all the great talent and the acting and the good stuff and the singing, you are, like you've briefly mentioned, you are an entrepreneur. Basically, you have your own coffee blend, Hoyser Country Blend, and it's kicking ass. You're shipping it like internationally. I just want to emphasize that it's not like you have this mom and pop thing that you sell to your family on Thanksgiving. It's like an international export. It's like an
I make them buy
American
it too.
export. Yeah, it's an export. So, like, okay, tell us, like, how did this concept happen? Where can we buy it? What blends do you have? What's your favorite? Just give us might as well.
Okay, so yeah, I know. And it's not like I'm just selling coffee just because I wanted to pick a coffee and sell it. This is like, you know how, artists sell merchandise, like they have t-shirts and stuff.
Yeah.
This is my way of, hey, get up in the morning, throw on a song and make a pot of coffee with me, take a picture of it and send me your coffee moments.
It's genius because coffee is a drug. So you are getting people addicted.
Sorry for everyone out there.
Repeat business. It's genius.
I'm already hooked on it. So everyone just has to follow suit. But so I got to pick out Hoyser Country Blend. I don't know if you can see that there.
Yeah, there she is.
Now. So it's got rare Tanzanian peaberry beans in it. I was actually playing at a bar one night, and the owner came up to me and said, Claudia, I've seen those espresso pots in all of your Hoyser Country Monday videos. I've been following along. What is going on with the coffee? And I told him, look, I started coming to the studio. Tony made me a pot of espresso every day. I've been drinking coffee in my sippy cup because my grandma used to sneak it in there with lots of milk when I was little. I'm just the ultimate coffee girl. Been in love with it forever. You never find me without it. Amazing. And he said, all right, well, I'll hang on to that. And he walks to the back of the bar. He's chatting with Tony the rest of my show. So I know something's going on, and I'm just sitting there singing all my songs, wondering what the heck is up. And then they both come up to me at the end of the night, and he says, aside from owning this bar and having people here for food and music and great times, I have been in the coffee business my whole life. And I would love to help you pick out your own blend to share with your fans and followers if you'd ever want to do that. And I'm one of those people that never believes it, oh my gosh, that's the greatest thing, but I'll believe it when I see it. So I told him I would love it. I was speechless. And that week he was coming over to the studio with all different types of coffee beans, all different types of giant machinery that I've never used. There's these coffee maniacs out there that know all those crazy coffee machines and stuff. So I was just getting on board with all of that, trying different blends, taste testing everything. And we finally came out with the perfect one, and people are loving it. In 15 countries we're shipping to, and it's on Amazon, HoyserCountry.com.
Wow.
And even ClaudiaHoyser.com can lead you over, but it's in grocery stores, Tops, Friendly Markets, Hagedorn's, Harrima's, golf courses. If anyone's tuning in right now and has a place where they know they need some better coffee, give us a call.
You see, that's what I'm saying. Forget cryptocurrency, forget stocks and GameStop. I'm putting my chips on your table, Claudia Hoyser. That's because there's something there.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I mean, look, you've been so good with your time. We're obviously not gonna get through all this stuff I want to talk to you about. So, let's you'll just have to come back. But tell us, like, what song do you want to perform for us? Because we're really excited to hear you.
Of course. I really want to play you the title track from my new record that's going to be coming out.
Yes.
And
amazing.
we just started announcing that it's going to be end of June.
Amazing.
And I normally don't throw out a teaser like that, but I'm going to try to hold us to it. So it's
Amazing.
been a long time coming. And I think that the timeline just worked out perfectly because of where we are in the world right now.
Right.
Everybody's been put on pause, and I'm hoping that we're seeing the light right now. Things are going to start opening up again. And this one's called Red Lights Turning Green.
Lovely.
I know I've got a choice. Know I have a voice, but I don't always know what to say. Known it all along. I know what's right from wrong. I don't always choose the best time and place. But you see, to be me, I'll keep standing strong. To melt the mountains in the hills, I'll keep trying on my will. Leave the struggle in the backseat, pedal to the floor, the red lights turning green. To melt the mountains in the hills, I'll keep trying on my will. Leave the struggle in the backseat, pedal to the floor, the red lights turning green. And I've played such silly games. I've tried and tried to change, but my heart always loves in the end. I've broken all my walls, used the bricks to break the fall, but I stand and I pray. But you see, to be me, I'll keep standing strong. To melt the mountains in the hills, I'll keep trying on my will. Leave a struggle in the backseat, pedal to the floor, the red lights turning green. To melt the mountains in the hills, I'll keep trying on my will. Leave the struggle in the backseat, pedal to the floor, the red lights turning green. One day my eyes are gonna close, and while the wild light still glows, I'm gonna fall more than fly. And when that sunken moon does fade, no time didn't go to waste. Yeah, I danced with the rain. To melt the mountains in the hills, I'll keep trying on my will. Leave the struggle in the backseat, pedal to the floor, the red lights turning green. To melt the mountains in the hills, I'll keep trying on my will.
Claudia Hoyser. What a
Thank
song.
you so much.
What a
Thank
song.
you. It's like the first time I performed for somebody in a while.
Oh, wow. Well, listen. Thank you
Besides
so much.
Hoyser Country Monday, of
Yeah,
course.
of course. Of course. Besides like 10 million people. But yeah,
Oh
I get
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Claudia, thank
I
you.
told you that doesn't feel real most of the time.
No, absolutely. By the way, can you guess what's like the first song where you came to our radar? It was a cover song.
Hmm.
You're never gonna believe it. You know, the one,
And it wasn't fishing in the dark.
no, it wasn't Fishing in the Dark. It was kind of a random one. It was Small Town Saturday Night.
Oh, okay. I was gonna
I
say
know.
Slow Ride. That's probably the most random one we've
Yeah,
done
it was a
yet.
little random, but it came. That's how it came to us.
Oh my gosh! And did it just come across your Facebook page?
Yeah, yeah. I forgot how it happened. I think, you know what it was. We were out with some friends in Music Row one night, and we were talking about that song and that whole thing. And then
cool.
I ended up in YouTube like a couple days later, and here we are.
Wow. Well, we've done so many of them at this point. I think over 120 videos, something like that. And so the chances of that happening now, it's like if you look up a cover song of something, it's like I'm gonna come up at some point.
At some point. Well, listen, Claudia, thank you so much for your time. I mean,
Thank
you have a
you.
champion in Nashville. You're gonna have many champions in Nashville, but I think that the great takeaway here, besides your talent, is how much joy and like happiness you're giving to the world with this new technology, and that's gonna bode really well for you going forward. And we can't wait to see where you go.
Thank you so much. I hope that this helps some more people start following along. And I just appreciate it so much. Thanks for taking all the time, Jamie.
Absolutely. Take care. Say hi to Tony.
I will. Cheers.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Bye.